It's time to make our square one project for the year. This year we're going to make a half moon, half sun picture using markers. We're going to sort our colors into two groups. So we're looking at our cheat sheet for color wheel, and I want you to take a look at this side of the color wheel. Red through yellow are your warm colors. Think of warm like the sun. And then your red, violet all the way through yellow, green are your cool colors. Those are the colors that remind us of a refreshing day. So let's get started. The first thing you want to make sure is that your first name is at the top, one letter in each box. If you don't write neat, they will probably spell your name wrong on the catalog, and that's not cool, so let's make sure we write nice and neat. VME, grade 2, and your teacher's name, which I'll put up on the board for you. Since we're pretty much professionals now at overlapping, we're gonna do something really cool with this. We're gonna put a frame that's at the top of the paper, and you're gonna go ahead and trace the inside of the frame. Try to trace pretty lightly, because we're gonna overlap the rays of our sun. Now we're gonna put our circle in the middle of our square. I know that the circle is bigger than the square, but that's totally okay. Just try to find the middle. Now that we've got our paper set up, you're going to make a backwards letter C inside of the moon to create the crescent. This side will be your moon. We're going to erase the piece of the moon that sticks out. It looks like our moon is tucked inside of the square, and for our circle we're going to erase the part of the frame that shows. So now it looks like the sun is peeking outside of the frame. I'm going to move my messy mat here for a couple of minutes just so that you can see some different examples of different types of sun rays. Everybody should look a little bit different. So let's think about that as the side of our sun. Here are some different options. Or here's a couple more. But here's what we want to avoid. None of this. We're way too awesome for that. Let's go with one of these. Okay, back to our paper. Now we're going to go ahead and make the sun rays, whichever ones we chose, and you can make them on just the sun side. Remember, we're pros at overlapping. We know that we only draw what we see, and the frame is hiding behind the sun. So get rid of all the pieces of the frame that are inside of your sun rays. Now you've got to make the faces. This can be a little tricky, but the moon is really easy. So the moon should be sleeping. So we're going to make a downward curved line and maybe some little eyelashes. Then you can make his mouth like a little smile. Pretty simple. Now the sun side. Sun is wide awake, so you're going to make like a rainbow, like a curve, just like we did at the bottom of this one. Put a nice eye in there. Little nose. Maybe some eyelashes. Up adding the nose to the moon. All I did was come out and curve back in. Now I'm going to trace all of that in Sharpie. Then I'm going to put my name inside of the frame right above the moon. I'm going to decorate the moon side of my frame with some little stars. If you don't know how to draw a star without the lines inside, You can always make your stars nice and big with the lines, draw them really lightly, and then just trace the outside. We're going to be coloring using markers. I'm going to pull out some of the new ones just so that we get really juicy lines. So I bought you some new color markers because we can have fun things like electric lime and hot pink. We're going to want to sort these into two different groups. Let's start with the basics. Red, orange, and yellow are your warm colors. And then you can pull out anything that's kind of like a red or an orange or a yellow. So those would be all the colors that you could use on your warm side, your sun side. And then pretty much what's left over are your cool colors. You're probably not going to want to use very much brown or black. Anything you want done in black should be black Sharpie. So those are your cool colors now. So now that you've got your little work area set up, it's time to color. Now think about making an interesting pattern maybe around the edge of this and maybe around the edge of this. Something that's really eye-catching but doesn't take away from your awesome sun and moon in the middle. So now that I've got my background colored in warm colors and cool colors, then I can go ahead and pick a color for the background. Now I'm going to pick yellow for the whole background, mostly because I didn't use it in the pattern and because it's a nice bright color that pops. Now I'm ready to do the face. I would pick something of a light blue to do your moon's face. I'm also going to try to do long curved lines so that I don't see a bunch of streaks in my coloring. I'm going to go back with my Sharpie and just kind of take care of this little eyebrow. There. I'm going to make red lips for my sun. And here is your square one project for this year.